Live. Good afternoon, good evening, actually, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Welcome. This is Elevation 2023 Live. And if you don't know, if you're just joining us for the first time, Elevation 2023 is this program that we are producing through the Women's Leadership Circle and me. I'm Shirley Osborne, and my work with women is done through the Women's Leadership Circle. And so this year we are, hello there, hello. This year we are doing Elevation. Elevation is the name of the game. Elevation is the theme and is the name of the game for us for this year. So I want to begin by, let me just clarify this here again. I have to do this every time. There we go. Okay. I want to, for those of you who haven't been on yet, those of you who are just logging on, just getting to know me, I work for women's leadership, for women owning our power, our possibility, our potential, women being autonomous and having agency, for women being able to contribute everything that we want to, that we are capable of. And I want us to do this because I know that it helps everyone, including the men, some of whom don't want women to contribute. And so let me jump right in. In Afghanistan, just last week, a few days ago, I read a news article that said that the Taliban government had decided that women would no longer be able to be treated by male doctors. So women can't go to male doctors in Afghanistan. Women can't be treated by men, and women are no longer allowed in schools. They've been keeping women out of schools and universities since they got back in. And so if women can't go to school to learn to be doctors, and women can't go to male doctors, then it means that women will not be able to get medical attention, and that women will die, that women will be discarded like I don't know what. I'm assuming that vets are allowed to work in Afghanistan. I'm assuming that vets are allowed to look after cats and dogs and horses, cattle, sheep, livestock generally. But women evidently no. So unless women are going to come in to Afghanistan from outside, and then women are not allowed to work, women are being pushed home. So will female doctors be able to work anyway? Yeah. So my work is grounded firmly in women being able to contribute everything that we are capable of, because it serves us all. It serves the entire world. Everybody does better when women are working, women are contributing, women are using our gifts and talents and sharing them with the world. And in that mission, my mission statement is: one woman wins, one woman succeeds, all women win. For every time a woman succeeds at something, breaking a glass ceiling, opening a door, entering an arena, every time one woman does that, all women win, because it opens it just sometimes just a tiny crack, but it creates openings. That's my mission. That's my vision. I have worked with women in all kinds of situations, women and girls in dire, painful, difficult circumstances. I have worked with beauty pageants, and I am a politician. I love politics, and so I do politics. I've worked a lot with political women and men. And my view of the world is a world in which we all get to contribute everything that we are capable of, everything that we want, and that nobody is denied the opportunity to contribute because of their sex, their gender, their race, their social standing. That opportunities and options are available to all of us. It's a vision. It's a dream. Sometimes dreams come true. So having said that, I have been working for years doing this work. And as time goes by, I've changed the direction of my work, or the focus of my work. And right now, I'm not working as much with women in need of support, women in violent situations. And so I'm not working so much in that. The last few years, I've been doing a lot of politics. And then the last 3 years, I have moved back into doing coaching and personal development, personal growth for women, along with leadership. Leadership is the big deal. I'm doing a lot of leadership work with women. And by leadership, of course, I mean leadership at the very highest levels, the ones that we consider the highest levels: CEOs, heads of countries, heads of organizations, heads of institutions, and personal leadership. Because I believe it is my experience that we can all exhibit leadership anytime, any place. Leadership is not just a position you occupy, it's a mindset. It's the way you walk in the world, it's the way you present yourself in the world, it's the way you engage with the world. And it's engaging with confidence and with personal power and with ability, or following. And sometimes, complicated a little bit, sometimes the best way to lead is to follow. Because sometimes your following allows other people to express their leadership, and sometimes your following allows other people to allow themselves to follow. Does that make sense? Leadership is a complicated, really, really fascinating thing. And women have been kept out of leadership for so long. So much energy, so much resources, so much time has been spent on keeping women out. And to my mind, not to my mind, clearly the world has suffered because of that. And so I've been doing leadership these last couple of years. And last year, I shifted, I started some new programs, including something called SQ, which is specifically for women in need, women at risk, women in need of special support. It's actually SSS. SQ means Special Support Services for Women, Special Support Services for Women. And I tie that into the work I do with other women who are, their lives are moving along. They're in control of their lives. They make their own decisions, generally speaking. They have good lives. And they are continuing to build and grow. And through SQ, they get to support other women. And 2 years ago, I formalized all of this in the Women's Leadership Circle. The Women's Leadership Circle is what has me here today, because the Women's Leadership Circle this year has ramped up again. And that's the plan. Every year, we must grow. Growth is necessary. If you don't grow, you stagnate, you die. And so growth is necessary. To my mind, growth also ought to be deliberate, intentional, purposeful. You don't just grow, as we say in Monster, I don't grow like French weed. You grow with purpose. You direct your growth, direct your path. You set your path and you grow into it. And of course, sometimes you have to zig and zag, but you clear your path and you work. And so this year, I wanted to do something, to add something really interesting, powerful, wonderful, something that would make a bigger difference, another big difference in the work that I've been doing. And elevation came to mind because, again, a lot of my work is with women who are struggling against odds, has been women who are struggling against odds. Women, and all of us women actually, are always working and being prevented in all kinds of ways from rising, from succeeding, from being everything we could possibly be, from expressing everything that we own and have and are. Yeah. So we all always in pushback mode, in work mode, in battle mode, in warrior mode, because we're always working against odds. Even in the places in the world where women have on paper all of the rights and privileges that human beings should have, even those places, women are still struggling because the culture does not always move equally with the legislation. That was a bit of politics for you, government for you. So this year I started Elevation 2023. Elevation 23 is what do you call it? How do I say this? A rounding out, a filling in, a sharpening of the work of the Women's Leadership Circle to support as many women as possible. I told Kathy Cushman, a woman who we met, and I recognize that we'll be doing good work together. We just haven't been given the instructions yet. But I told her last year about gathering 1,000 women at least in the Women's Leadership Circle. And she said, of course you can do that. Of course you can do that. And the idea about women, 1,000 women, is that, of course, the work that needs to be done gets done more easily when you have an army, when you have people. Yes. And training people, preparing people is building the people and building the community. When you build someone, United Nations says that, and I think it's an African proverb, they say it is, I don't know for sure, but they say when you teach a woman, she teaches the entire community. When you teach a man, he teaches his, hi there. When you teach a man to read, for example, he teaches his son, and very often his firstborn son. When you teach a woman, she teaches the entire community. She spreads it around. She supports other people. And so imagine 1,000 women all working together on building each other, supporting each other. Women from all over the world, working together, supporting one another, in connection, in community, supporting one another, hearing, listening to one another's dreams and visions and goals, and supporting one another in our challenges and our difficulties and our dark days. Just being there, sister, I'm here. Imagine 1,000 women deliberately, purposefully working on elevating themselves and taking even better care of their health. So strengthening themselves physically, working on their style. And you notice that my style today is African. I put on my African wrap. Yeah. Women working on their wealth, all the different forms of wealth. Women working on their personal power, owning their personal power. And women working deliberately on strengthening their relationships, on having strong relationships. Hey there, thank you. On having strong relationships. Imagine 1,000 women doing that. And think of the classic standard cliche almost, drop a pebble in a pond and the ripples that move out and how far they go. Imagine you being a part of that. You being one of those women who drops this pebble and 1,000 women can drop 1,000 pebbles. Imagine that. Imagine that happening. And then imagine getting together on All Year's Night, as we say here in Montserrat. Imagine getting together to celebrate one another. Just to listen in, check in, say, this year I accomplished this, I moved this, I built this, I created this, I fulfilled this. I'm healthier, I'm wealthier, my style has improved, my relationships have strengthened, and I own my personal power. And I'm stepping into 2024 in a big, strong, powerful way. Imagine being a part of that. That's what Elevation 2023 is. And that's what these lives are here to support you in participating in, to invite you in, to talk to you about what it is, and to help move you and lift you. The lives are free. I come on here, you come on, you talk to me, I talk to you. Drop me a message. I can't always see the notes, but drop me a note, drop me a comment. And if I don't respond while I'm talking, which is kind of difficult to do that, I'll respond afterwards. But the Women's Leadership Circle is presenting Elevation 2023 and a global woman fete on All Year's Night on December 31st. We are going to gather online. The screens will be open. You can check in whenever you want. And throughout the time we're online, throughout the day, the evening, depending on where you are. And I say night because I like the whole idea of All Year's Night. You can check in, hear who's listening to someone who speaks. We'll have speakers. We're going to have music. We have women giving testimonies, women telling our stories, women sharing. We're going to have music and we're going to dance and we're going to celebrate one another for a few hours. So you can check in whenever you want. Spend half an hour, go away, come back later. Or you can't come in the beginning, come later. But on All Year's Night 2023, we are going to celebrate each other. We're going to do Elevation 2023, a global woman fete. And so in preparation for that, we're doing these lives I'm inviting you to join the Women's Leadership Circle. We're doing these lives every week. I'm inviting you to drop me your email. Go on shirleyosborne.com. Just drop me. There's a pop-up box. Just drop me your email, and I'll put you on the mailing list for the Elevator. The Elevator is a weekly newspaper. Is a weekly newsletter that will have tips, strategies, ideas, information for you on the 5 areas that we're focusing on this year. The 5 areas are health, style, wealth, personal power, and relationships. And every week, every Wednesday night, Thursday morning, you'll get a copy of the Elevator with five notes, short, easy, quick, that you can incorporate into your life if you need them, or you can tick and say, yep, got that one done, or I'm going to try this, and build your life, build out the life that you want. We've had a rough time. These last 3 years have been rough, and clearly it's not done yet. People are still struggling. Well, you can stay. It's okay. Castro, you can stay. It's okay. Part of what I'm saying is that when women do well, men do well. So if you're not on the wrong live, you're meant to hear this. So, and then what you could do is, invite the women in your life. Do that. Invite them to participate. So we're working every week. You get the Elevator with these tips on each of these areas, so you can work on them. You can add them to your life if you need to. If not, you just use whichever ones you need and keep going. Every week also you get an assignment. An assignment is because part of what we're doing is to own your personal power. You have to use it. And so stepping out to add things to your life, create things in your life, is necessary. It's critical. It's important. And so every week there'll be one thing you get to do, one thing you're asked to do, one thing you choose to do, one thing you say you want to do. You pick, and every week you drop an email back that says yes or no. Simple. Yes or no. Yes means I did it, whatever it was, and you can tell us or not. No means I didn't. And no is not necessarily a problem. Sometimes you didn't do it because, it wasn't really what was meant to be done. Or you did it and no, I think I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. No is not necessarily a failure. Understand that. I chose to do something else because I chose to do something bigger, better, more. I chose to do something less. I chose not to do it because. So no is not necessarily a failure. The idea is to keep you engaged over the year, because what is to happen over the year is that every week, every day, you make a step forward, you make a step up, you elevate a little bit, so that by the end of the year, you are where you wanted to be this year, and you got yourself there. What also happens is that when you join the Women's Leadership Circle, because in order to participate in order to get the Elevator, you don't have to. In order to listen to these lives, you don't have to be part of the Women's Leadership Circle. But we also do a monthly circle where we sit and we really dig into topics. We have guest speakers. We have debates on things. We make resolutions. We make decisions about things. You have to be a member of the Women's Leadership Circle in order to participate in that. We have a community page you get to be able to log into if you're a member of the Women's Leadership Circle. We have throughout this year, starting in February, we'll be doing throughout the year, starting in February, we'll be doing a seminar every 2 months. So February, April, June, August, and October, we'll do a seminar, a proper full one-day seminar on each of the areas of focus. So February, we are going to do a seminar on health in February. In April, we'll do one on style. In June, we're doing wealth. In August, we do personal power. And then in October, we do relationships, which makes perfect sense because it's perfect timing, actually, because October is just leading up to the holidays, and different cultures, different religions, different countries. Many of us have big important holidays at the end of the year, starting with Thanksgiving in the US, for example. Yeah. And you go right through until New Year's. And a lot of that is built around family and relationships, the people in your life. And so doing relationship seminar in October just kind of fits right in, doesn't it? Isn't that? So these 5 seminars also are open only to you if you are a member of the Women's Leadership Circle. The Women's Leadership Circle is membership is $30 a year, which is $2.50 a month. And but for now, usually it's $50, but it's $30 until after the first seminar. And when you become a member of the Women's Leadership Circle, you get to participate in all of these things. You get the coaching, you get one-on-one coaching with me or with one of our other coaches. You get to have direct contact. Some things on your mind, something you want to find out. If you go online at shirleyosborne.com, you will see everything there that's involved, included in the Elevation 2023. Elevation 2023 is what we are working on. So every Thursday, we're going to talk about Elevation 2023, and we are going to drive up our energy, strengthen ourselves, energize ourselves, prepare ourselves, build ourselves, elevate ourselves, so that at the end of the year, we are way ahead of where we started out. No matter how high up we already are, there always is some way to go. Improvement is a continuous thing. And so we do this in 2023. So we end the year on a high note, strengthened, empowered, healthier, with stronger relationships, wealthier in any or all of the ways that all of the types of health. We are healthy in every way, mental, spiritual, physical. We're working on that deliberately, intentionally, purposefully this year. And so on New Year's night, we celebrate, and we are ready for New Year's Day 2024. We start the year strong, and we just keep rolling along. We just keep building. That's the idea. I'm excited about it because I have seen so many times over the years, in so many instances, the work with women. I've seen women make these amazing journeys, make these amazing decisions, have these experiences where sometimes they're starting from nothing, they're starting from rock bottom. Sometimes they are where they think they want to be, and then something triggers, and they, well, actually, what I would like, and they add something else to their lives. So that's what we're going to be doing. Sorry. That's what this year is about. And every week we're going to talk about one of the issues or something that you send me, because you can send me something you want to talk about. Send me a topic. So we talk about health, for example. We're going to talk a little bit about health today. When we talk about health, we can talk about physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, financial health. We can talk about nutrition, we can talk about exercise and fitness, we can talk about downtime and self-care, what I call health care. And healthcare, by that I don't mean when you go to the doctor, I mean how you look after your health. So for example, this week I have been focusing on my health a lot because I did stupid stuff last week and made myself sick on Wednesday and Thursday. And on Friday, it showed up, and I ended up spending the evening in the emergency room and the weekend in my bed, and most of this week in my bed, also feeling kind of ratty and groggy and yeah, because I made bad decisions about my health. And sometimes you do that. Unfortunately, not most of the time. It's not dead. It's not deadly. It doesn't. It's not terribly dangerous. It's inconvenient and a little bit painful, and then you recover and you survive and you go along. Unfortunately, that's what happened with me. But what in the elevator this week, the topic on health is an article from the Huberman Labs, from Andrew Huberman, who is an ophthalmologist and a research scientist at Stanford, and does a lot of work in energy and health and fitness. And the what I chose for the elevator this week on health is a presentation he made on the 5 things that we should do every 24 hours to keep ourselves healthy, including sleep, which is something I have not been getting a lot of this last month and a half. And sometimes I'm like that. I'm very haphazard about my sleep because sometimes I wish I didn't have to sleep at all. There's so much stuff going on. I want to stay awake and do it. But we need to sleep because we need to rest, and not just rest our physical bodies, our brains need to rest. Our brains need to rest. And I've been doing some research on brain waves, alpha, beta, delta waves, um, how our brain works and how our brain responds to different stimuli. And for example, Dr. Huberman, one of his speeches, he said on his lessons, he talked about the eyes. The eyes, he said, are not just, they're not, they don't connect with the brain, they are part of the brain. And some fascinating stuff that has to do with our health and how light reaches the eyes affects our body, how our brains work, because it actually is light reaching the brain. So the eyes are not transmitting it to the brain. When light hits the eye, it actually is lighting the brain, and the brain responds. There's amazing stuff that is really scientific stuff that's really, really helpful. I find so helpful for health, because the big thing about health, and we're going to be talking about a lot, is energy. Is having the energy to do the things you want to do, the things you need to do. Is being able to get up and feel energetic. I got things hanging in the back of my wrap here. Is being able to get up in the morning and have the energy to do the things you want to do, the things you need to do. Having the physical energy and the mental energy, the mental positioning. And he talks about how sleep and sunlight actually help us do that. They help keep us healthy. I mean, we kind of know that, but I didn't know it in so much detail. So check out the elevator. If you haven't got it, if you didn't get it because you're not on the list, go to shirleyosborne.com. In the pop-up box, just put your email address. I'll add you to the list for the elevator, and you'll get it every Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and you'll get the tips that we have, that goes to all our members. And you can work on whichever ones you want. And come in on Thursday on the lives and chat with me and say how it worked, what you like, didn't like. Give me your feedback, because that's also important. This year is a conversation. This is the second live I'm doing for Elevation 2023. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm going into so much detail about the program itself. Next week, we'll talk more about the issues, the topics, health and style and so on. We'll talk more about those. But it's important that we set this, and so that when people come on the website and on YouTube, because this live is being shown, is being broadcast and recorded on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Twitter, Shirley Osborne. And so people who come, you can just go back to the second one and get all of this information. We don't have to do this every week, but it's important to start out like this. So this week, I'm talking to you about the program, what the program is, and you get more detail on the website. So go to shirleyosborne.com, check it out, register, sign up, become a member of the Women's Leadership Circle. It's $30 a year, $2.50 a month, and you get all of this, and you get to build some connections with some amazing women in the Caribbean, in Africa, in America, in England, in Europe, in France. We had a couple on here last time from Egypt. And 2023, I want 2023 Elevate, 2023 Old Year's Night to be a night when women from all around the world get together. We meet and we talk and we listen to one another. We tell our stories and we listen to music together. We raise a glass together and prepare ourselves and celebrate ourselves and each other, and prepare to do even more powerful work next year. What I really like is that the Global Fete become an annual thing. How cool that would be. How cool would that be? Imagine thousands of women from all over the world being focused on something. And of course, it'll evolve as we go. And so the evening, the time will change. What we do then, how we do it, will evolve and change and improve as more women come on. I'm so excited by this. I'm so excited by this. So let me invite you again to go onto shirleyosborne.com, check out Elevation 2023, sign up, join the circle, join the Women's Leadership Circle. All of this stuff is in there, plus all the other work that we do. The Self-Leadership Plan of Action, Feminine Alchemy, Lead from Inside. There's a bunch of things that we do at the circle that will become accessible to you, that you can enjoy, participate in, learn from, use in your work, in your personal life, wherever, and the connections that are available to you on our community page as we build it out and strengthen it as women come on. and the contributions you get to make, for example, with S cubed. This is about building you, building the world that you live in. When you build yourself, you build the world. And when you build the world, you build yourself. It's a beautiful, beautiful circle that I am delighted to be a part of. It wasn't, when I was going to school, this was not what I envisioned for myself. As a matter of fact, a lot of the time I didn't envision anything. Or my mother would say, I was changing my mind every day. I wanted to be a journalist, I wanted to be a dancer, I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a sailor, I wanted to be a carpenter, I wanted to be all kinds of things. And I got to be many of them, actually. But this work had not been this, no, I had not thought of this. And as it turns out, I've done this work the last more than 2 decades in so many different parts of the world. China, the United States, Europe, the Caribbean, Africa. I get to do amazing work with amazing women. And so I arrive at this point, elevation point, where I am aware that all these amazing experiences I've had, all these wonderful, wonderful women teachers that I have encountered along the way, have given me something that I could do one of 2 things with. I could hold on to it for myself, and it does me no good, or I can share it. I can pass it on, which is what is supposed to happen. One of my trips to China, one of the students said to me, teachers, she thanked me for coming to the university to do the work. And then she told me that teachers touch eternity. Teachers touch eternity. I had not wanted to be a teacher. My mother was a teacher, and all my life I said, nope, I'm not going to be like my mother. I'm not going to teach. And it turns out I'm not teaching academic subjects the way she did, but my work is, in fact, teaching. A lot of my work is teaching. And it is gratifying, it is fulfilling. And when that student said to me, teachers touch eternity, it crystallized for me. I understood my work, my being, my purpose. And so I have no qualms, no reservations about the work that I do. I know I'm doing good work. I just make sure every day I learn something to ensure I do the good work well. Because there are 2 things. It's good work, and it's good work that must be done well. And so I must be learning. And I also must be passing it on. And that's what I get to do in the Women's Leadership Circle. So I'm grateful to all of you who are part of this, who are considering being a part of this. I invite you to come join us and see how this could add some power and pleasure and fulfillment to your life. If you're a man on here, just share this with some women that you know. Bring them in. Because this is universal work. This is work that touches everyone. It's important and vital work. And one last thing, another thing that was really, really touched me along the way I was working, along my work path. I come from this tiny little island called Montserrat. Some of you know, many of you, anybody who has heard me talk before like this has heard me say this. I come from this little island called Montserrat. Not very many of us anywhere in the world. Put us all together, we're a small town somewhere. And I grew up around my grandparents. I knew 2 of my great grandmothers, other people's parents and grandparents, aunties, uncles. And having grown up in a little island with a population of about 12,000, and I found myself working in Phoenix, which has a population of like 5 million. And one day, I am with a group of young girls. I'm teaching them something. We're talking about something. I can't even remember what. And one young girl asked me, but Miss, where you get all this information from? How you know all of these things? Because these are not things, the things we're talking about, things that you get necessarily taught in school. And in any case, my degrees are communications and business, right? So it struck me, and I realized that here I am, having grown up in this little place among these few people, And what I am teaching these young girls in the United States of America, which has 300 and something million people, and 5 million in the city I was, is what I learned. Everything I was teaching them is what I was taught in my little island. It left me speechless for a little bit. It stumped me, the realization. That is how life works. That's how the world works. People's grandparents taught me things, and I'm teaching them to other people's grandchildren halfway across, 3,000, 4,000 miles away. China is halfway across the world. Literally, it's on the other side of the world from me. And I have Chinese students saying, when we become the woman president, we remember you because you taught us. 4,000 miles in a desert. I come from a tiny little tropical island. I live on the sea. I live on the beach, practically. And I'm in the middle of a desert. And I'm teaching. I'm transmitting information, wisdom that I was taught by my grandmother, who left her little island twice in her life. Once because she broke her leg and had to go off to another island for medical treatment, and twice because the volcano destroyed the island and she had to be taken away. She had to leave. She wasn't a world traveler, but the things that she taught me, I was teaching them to American children 3,000 miles away. That is what the power of engagement and participation is. That is what the Women's Leadership Circle is all about. That is what Elevation 2023 is all about. Women from all over the world sharing, learning and teaching, elevating each other. Come join the circle. Come join us. Be part of this circle. Let's do this work. Take good care. I'll see you in circle.